Kyle Leutters, handling a lot of their microphone duties. Let's talk about how you got involved and what you're doing.
Well, I've been a lifelong racing fan my entire life. My mom and dad joke I went to my first race when I was 2 months old. My mom was working for a race car driver. I ended up in victory lane somehow. So it's been a lifelong passion for me. The way I got involved with the Outlaws is actually really cool. I was getting ready to graduate college in December of last year, and as many college students get, what am I going to do after college? Well, I was working at a radio station. I said, you know what? I'm announcing at a local dirt track. I love racing. Let's try to get into racing somehow. And I submitted resumes here, there, everywhere, and yonder. And the World of Outlaws finally bit, and they said, hey, we're kind of looking for a guy that can do some new stuff. And that's kind of the way we went. But it's really cool. The day that my last final in college was on a Wednesday at 11:30 in the morning. When I got back to my office at the radio station, I had an email from the World of Outlaws saying, hey, we want you to come out and interview with us. So that was awesome.
Cool. Did you pass the final?
Who
cares?
I got an 84 on it. That's right. I passed it.
Okay. Now, a little bit, I've seen your work, but for the folks that maybe you're a new face, let's talk about what you do.
It's a little bit of everything, as we talk about, journalism, there's print journalism, there's broadcasting, we're starting to see that line kind of erase a little bit. You've got to be able to do both. So kind of what we've really started to push this year with our new websites is more of a converged approach. You've got to be able to write the story, you've got to be able to get the audio and get the video, and that's a lot of what I've been doing this year is, each night I'll grab my camera. It's only about a $150 Kodak camera. It's on a Walmart tripod and a $20 mic. But it's just grabbing that driver at the hauler. He's out of victory lane. He's got the chance to think about the race a little bit. And talking to him and putting that up on the website instead of a victory lane picture has really made our fans a whole lot more happy because they get more of an in-depth interview with their driver. And that's something we've really pushed. We've started a podcast this year. You can get it on the iTunes store by searching Outlaws Unleashed. It's also available on the main website each and every Wednesday afternoon. And I also write a blog about my experiences out here on the road. I'm a 22-year-old guy. I get to see a lot of the country. There's some of the stories I can't talk about,
right.
but,
yeah.
But the majority of it, we've done a lot of great things this year. We've gone to Alcatraz, we've gone to different areas. I think we're still on the hunt for the best small town dive in America. We're still working on that one. And of course, for some reason, I like taco salad, so I'm keeping track of where I have a taco salad at, so that's another thing that's cool.
There's a local driver named Gary Scott that he equates the racetracks by who has the best food.
Now, that's something else.
Yeah.
Racetrack food is very important, and I went to Eldora. I had the Pete's Burger. That was pretty good, and I got a question for you now. What do I need to try here at Lernerville before I leave? What's the one thing on the menu that I've got to have?
Pepperoni rolls.
Pepperoni rolls,
okay. You can see I've had a lot of them.
No.
The fish sandwich is also outstanding, and there's very few tracks, if any, that have the fish sandwich.
I was about ready to say the fish sandwich is kind of a delicacy, if you will, out in the racetrack world. I've never seen that. I announced a lot of races at the Devil's Bowl, and they had the corny dog, which was like your regular corn dog, only it was way long. Those were pretty good. The chili cheese fries were pretty good there, but I think I'm going to have to step over and try the pepperoni rolls and the fish sandwich.
This is kind of random, but since it is the Don Martin Memorial, I've been to Lernerville since the track opened, raced here, worked for Don for many years, and we used to go to the promoter's workshop. And some promoters would talk about extra salt on the popcorn and just, selling a lot more food. And Don got up and he said, we don't have an intermission. And they said, why? Well, he was running 6 divisions at the time.
Yeah.
He said none of the fans watch 6 divisions. So when the division they don't like is racing, they go get something to eat.
Exactly.
So you spread the intermission over 6 divisions, and it wasn't crowded. Well, it was crowded, but it wasn't as crowded as it could have been. And this race is his memorial. He was a great promoter and just a great guy. And this has been built over the 20 years because of the way he treated the drivers when they came to town. And you could get down and talk to any of the older drivers, and they'll have a Don Martin story that's pretty special and something personally that they did with Don that they liked.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I just read Brad Doty's book, Still Wide Open.
Yeah.
Brad's got a great story about Don Martin in there. That's back when Brad was coming here and winning a lot of sprint car races.
Track champion here.
Track champion here. That's something I did not know. That's pretty cool. But, yeah, he talked about how Don would just, Don came up to him one night and said, hey, where are you staying?
Yeah.
and Brad told him where he was staying, and he said, "Why don't you go over here and tell him to put it on my tab?"
Right.
You know, I think we lose a lot of people that are like that. There's
Right.
just not that many Don Martins out there anymore. And, you know, and it's tougher in this economic time and the
Yeah.
way things are. But, you know, people like Don Martin, Brad Doty, Steve Kinzer, Laney Edwards out there in the Midwest.
Earl Baltus.
Earl Baltus.
Yeah.
You know, I've gotten the privilege to meet Earl last week, and that for me as a race fan was awesome.
Yeah.
Because that man is so instrumental in what we do today, because he really gave. If you go back and look at the early schedule in the Outlaws, it was pretty much Calistoga, Eldora.
Yeah.
Another track in Minnesota, back to Eldora.
Yeah.
So they ran Eldora a lot, and he was very instrumental in that. And then you talk to Lanny Edwards, the Outlaws' very first race at the Devil's Bowl Speedway.
Yeah.
They ran there and the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds so many times in the early get-go. And, you know, they're characters.
Yeah.
You know, those are the guys that everybody has a Don Martin story, a Lanny Edwards story, or an Earl Balta story. And, you know, that it kind of saddens me sometimes, because I think we lose that. We lose those characters because, you know, Lanny would yell about this, or Earl has the outlaw outfit on. You know, when he presented the crown to the king over at the King's Royal Saturday night, he had on the outlaw outfit, you know, the old Western attire, the cowboy hat, everything like that. And they're characters, and that's what made those guys so cool.
When he was promoter of the year, I was sitting with him at the table. Don Martin, our gang, was there with him, and he had a favorite saying at the track. You know, you'd ask him, "How's it going? If I sell one more hot dog, I'm going to break even." But when you get time, and we don't have it here, ask him about the time he convinced Big Bill France to put his feet in cement as a souvenir. That's a long story, but it's a funny one, and you'll love it.
All right, I will do that.
All right, is there anything else we need to talk about today?
Oh, okay, I want to know something. You've been here many, many years.
Since it opened.
What is your favorite Lernerville memory?
Well, I've won races.
On the track.
I've won races here, but I'd say my favorite memory, there's two of them. When the local guys, Timmy Schaefer and Ed Lynch, won the Don Martin Memorial.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty special.
That's
now, I've
pretty
seen a lot of winners and a lot of races, but those would be my two favorite.
Okay, now follow-up question. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who's the winners tonight?
I wouldn't begin to guess, but I'm hoping it's a local guy or someone that used to be local. I like Dale Blaney, Tim Schaefer, Ed Lynch Jr., Danny Holtgraver, our current champion. But that's a tough call. The track, the temperature is going to change, the setup. So whoever nails the setup, they're going to win it. And I like the new format where you have to win at least one of them to be the champion.
Certainly, very much. It's a great format.
It's nice to meet you, Kyle Leutters, the very familiar face and voice you'll see on all the Outlaw podcasts. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you, sir, as well, too. Now let's go get in the shade and get some pepperoni rolls.
I like it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.